Hey guys, it's Sam. Sorry, school started and I have been busy as fuck chasing kids, and yeah, chasing kids. If you ever want to have you know your own time to yourself and all that kind of stuff, don't have kids. So I'm back doing videos. Sorry, it's been a while. It's a couple weeks off here, just trying to get everything straightened out. So we are on to the Pantera. Yeah, the Polish, or not the Polish. I'm sorry, the Italians. Fuck, I've been playing too much Polish. What is the P.44 Pantera? Well, this is an interesting tank. Only existed in blueprints. And, well, it's got more of a backstory than that. I mean, obviously, of course, it is a paper tank. But, so, in around 41, the industrial might of Italy was not that hot. I mean, most of the tanks they were producing at the time were crap. They were riveted, not very fast, not very good guns, that kind of stuff. However, they did start the experiments with the P43, P43 BIS, that kind of stuff to complete a tank that was competitive against a Tiger or T-34s coming from Russia, that kind of stuff. However, they did start some projects on medium tanks. Specifically, this was one of them. Toward the end. So now, September 1943, Italy surrendered. However, up to that point, they had been working on building, trying to get production of German tanks in Italy, specifically the Panzer IVs and the Panther. However, due to some politics and Italian industrial leaders at the time, like Bresda, they didn't really buy into this whole thing about producing German vehicles. So there was kind of a little bit of a political pushback. Yeah, there was a lot of not cooperating. However, they were granted licenses. Hitler didn't care. He just wanted tanks produced in Italy, German tanks produced in Italy, and he wanted it now. However, Italy kind of drugged their feet. What happened was, essentially, they got the license to build the Maybach engine that powered the Panther. They were going to use that in their P43 series. You know, the Maybach 250, I think, HL is what the engine was. Let's see if it's here. What is this one? No, this is the CA. That engine essentially is the upgraded version of that. I do believe the actual engine is the SPA 344. What this was a Italian copy of a German Maybach engine, right? So Italians didn't have a problem get the engine. They just didn't really follow through on the tank. So they got the engine. They started producing copies of that engine for their tanks. In 1943, early 1943, we're talking about January, a Italian firm started working on a 90 millimeter armed medium tank with a Italian copy of the Maybach engine. It was going to have 80 millimeters armor on the front and 60 on the side. So what we get here is the Pantera is essentially a Italian Panther, or what we assume the Italians would have did with by building a Panther. They didn't really want the Panther. They already had something they thought was going to be better, and that's essentially where the Pantera comes from. And you can see by the lines, of course, the hull looks very similar to a Panther. Turret is almost entirely Italian. So this is kind of, like I said, kind of a mismatch of German technology with the engine. They didn't necessarily want to copy the Panther, but they also wanted something that was similar. Designed as the Panther, and that's where this blueprint comes from. They were like, yeah, let's see, we could probably do better than the Panther. I don't know why. So that's the history behind the Pantera, where it comes from. Nothing but a blueprint tank, and a little bit of a weird history involved in why they were developing this tank instead of just simply copying the Panther and putting it in production. What do we get in game? I'm really trying to love this tank because it is a great little medium. However, I'm usually a very bold, pushy medium player, and this tank doesn't quite fit with that. And I'm having trouble to switch back to playing a medium tank as more of a second line role, and that's what this thing does. You will get ammo racked all the fucking time in this thing. I switched a few times to just running 2 repair kits, and I think I'm going to switch back. It's ammo racked all the time, and that's my biggest complaint about the tank is the constant ammo racks. Everything else about the tank is, and we're going to go through that right now, 240 average damage per shot, 212 average bend, which is doable. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds for the auto reloading. I love the 3-round auto loader. If you play the Progetto, you're going to love this tank. This one's actually a little bit quicker than the Progetto, but a very similar gun handling and all that kind of stuff. 34.13 for the turn, traverse speed, 8 degrees of gun depression. If they also had 2 more degrees of gun depression on this tank, would be very good. 24.47 for the full loadout for that tank. 1.97 aim time, 0.131 dispersion, and 2,133 average damage per minute. Very good gun. Very good gun. Very good gun handling. I cannot complain about this. The gun on this tank. 1,400 for the hit points, 80 on the front, 50 on the sides, and 50 in the rear. Yeah, this is a very similar to a stock Panther chassis. 120 on the front, 60 on the side, 60 on the front. This thing will occasionally block a shot, not very often. Don't rely on it. You get fucking hit anywhere here, here. You get hit down here on this wheel right here. Your fucking ammo rack will fucking go off. You get fucking, see this little ring right here? It hits that right there. Fucking, you'll have an ammo rack. This is just one big ammo rack. Kind of like if you ever played the Leo 1. Same thing. You're fucking ammo racked 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 times a game. Very seldom you ever get through a game without getting ammo racked. That's my biggest complaint about this tank. 45 tons, 48 fully loaded, 1,000 engine horsepower, 22.11 specific power, 60 and 20. This thing is very fucking mobile. It gets around the battlefield very well. If you're a medium guy and you like medium tanks, this is going to play well into your play style because it moves very well. Very good gun handling. Very very good gun handling. It does snapshots real well. It's got that 3-round auto burst load that works pretty nice. 57.96 for the traverse speed, 12 for the concealment, not the best, whatever. 427 view range. It's got decent view range. Of course, I'm running optics on it. I didn't run the GLD or the what's the other one? I didn't run the vert stabs on this one because 1.97 aim time, 0.31 dispersion. This gun really doesn't need it. However, since I'm running just a 67% crew on it right now, I've only got a handful of games in the tank or whatever. I started out with 100% crew on it. I really can't complain. Like I said, I usually don't do these reviews showing you a tank that's got fucking 5, 6, 7 skills on it because that's kind of being, once again, dishonest because most people don't have 5, 6, skill crews. So yeah, I'm running this as a base tank. You're starting out, you're going to try to grind through it. So 100% crew, and that's what you're looking at least for the stat-wise. Of course, it's going to get much better as this tank gets a better crew, and I'm probably going to enjoy it more as I get the crew skills built up in the tank. Just right now, I'm having a hard time winning it. I'm running, usually most of my mediums are running 57, 58 to 60% win rates in this one. I think I'm running 50. I'm having a fuck of a time winning in it. I don't know why. It's a beautiful little medium tank. It's a little high profile. But for the most part, with its speed, maneuverability, and its gun handling, it's pretty hard to beat when you're shooting at shit. With the gun pen at 212, you're going to be fine against 8s and downs. 9s, you're going to struggle against some of the more heavily armored, like the E50s and that stuff. You're going to have to be a little bit more accurate with them. Tier 10s, it's going to struggle even dealing with mediums. You're going to have to aim really well, or you're going to have to go to just an APCR round, which isn't too bad. 259 millimeters of penetration. So yeah, if you have to, it's there. With the 212, you do get some odd bounces, especially against Russian mediums and their bullshit. So, but it does have a nice APCR round if you do need it. If you're going to deal with some of those tier 10s and stuff like that. Most for the 9s. Definitely for even tier 8s heavies, you don't really have a problem with this gun. Pens everything. It's, like I said, accurate. And of course, good aim type. So with that said, I'm going to bring up the replays for you guys, and hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, back with the first replay in the P.44 Pantera. Not like I said, I don't usually try to show you like this complete fucking, I just did 6K. I usually try to, most of my videos when I pick them, try to get a little bit of a, give you an idea of the abilities of the tank, how the tank plays, how it climbs hills, how it uses armor, if it has any, the gun handling, that kind of stuff, kind of give you a little bit better idea. And most of the time I play these tanks with just base crews in them, because once again, this tank is going to perform entirely different if you get like fucking 5 skills on it. Yeah, every tank does, right? But for the most part, if you guys are just starting out with these tanks and you're just, grinding through them, yeah, they act a little bit different. So we're gonna, I showed you in the garage, I don't usually run a completely fully equipped. Most of the time, I don't usually play with less than 100% crew on them, but most of the time I only have 1 or 2 skills on them, just to give you a little bit idea here. So move up to the 1-2 here, and all I'm doing right now is just providing some cover for these guys to move up. I don't have the armor here to play peeky pokey right off the bat. I prefer some more solid targets like the E50s that I've just moved up. We have 3 of them. Fucking yay for me. It's a tier 9 match, and like I said, with these 3 up here, I can be a little bit more, I don't have to quite worry with no armor that hopefully they'll pick on somebody else, maybe, possibly. So put the first shell into the T-54E1. That's what I love about this gun, is that snappy gun handling and the quick, fire. So wait for my next 2 rounds to load here, and we're just going to start working the ridge here just a little bit here, trying not to expose as little as possible. Back up here, we got the 50 TP here, and of course the mutts. These guys are working this guy over pretty hard here, so there's really no reason for me to get too carried away until I fucking pick him up, nail him, and now I got the 50 TP here. So let's move up. Got the CDC moving in. And the only reason that we were starting to push a little quickly here is because we have the sheer amount of tanks on the other side. 50 TP's like, whoops. Kind of fucking donked that a little bit here. Come around the corner here. Dunk that one too. Let's put one more on the side of it and get the fuck out of the way. E50 finishes him off. Yeah, I kind of popped that jump a little hard. My shell was off or whatever. And of course I thought that was the back of the tank, but it was the front of a tank. Bounced the second shot. Kind of a noob move, right, Sam? So on the move here, got the E50 with me, plenty of time to reload. And I'll talk about it in another video too, is I usually only expend all 3 shells unless I have a chance to make a reload. If I don't, I always try to make sure I leave at least 1 shell here in the tube here. Picks up the TVP. There's 1, and of course, let's just get greedy here. We'll get 2. We'll back off. I have plenty of places here to run to and hide if I have to for my shell reload. But yeah, didn't need it here. So finishes off most of this side. We're up 7-3 right now. The other side's pushing pretty hard. We didn't have much over there. The E50s have gone back, so I'm not quite as required to go back. I thought about it, and that's the great thing about the tank. You have the ability to flex with this tank. It's got some great flexibility here. Find the conch here. Let's see if we can put a shell in there. Yeah, get one on his side. Nice accurate gun. I can't complain about the gun at all. It's a great gun. This 90mm does everything you ask it of it. It's accurate, relatively quick aim time, that kind of stuff. The tank, however, has an ammo rack problem, and I talked about it in the garage. You get ammo racked fucking almost every game. You're going to get an ammo rack, depending on, of course, the severity of it. How many times you get ammo racked can be kind of a hindrance. I've actually, these games I didn't play with two of these repair kits, but I did put 2 repair kits on a little bit later here. So I got the Type 4 coming in here. We'll put 1, 2, and nope. We will throw one out there. We don't want to get hit by that. So, like I said, I got plenty of time here, plenty of space to reload all 3. I was getting a little bit greedy there for the damage. They brought it back to 10-6. So now I have a pretty good idea where the Type 4 is going. Right now the E50s is fucking up the T-54E1. So we're just going to give him a little bit of help here as soon as this Type 4 comes around the corner. So we wait for him. Yeah, here he comes. Gives me the side of his turret. There's 1. Put him in the side. There's 2. We'll leave that 3rd shell. Oops, I'm sorry. We're still reloading the other shell. That one wasn't quite loaded here. We're going to see if we get all 3 loaded. and we're going to see if we can fuck with Mr. J. Rogers. So we're sitting at 12.6 right now. Yeah. Mobility, good gun. Yeah, it has a nice mix, especially if you're into playing mediums. This is a medium kind of player's tank. Great mobility, good, nice, accurate gun. Don't get hit. Just don't get hit or ammo racked, because this fucking thing gets whacked a lot. Artillery, when you get hit by artillery, you're gonna feel it all the way down into your fucking balls, because they just fucking wreck you. So the 2.63 goes around. He's gonna go put a big shell into the Type 4, and mobility, yeah, that's what I'm talking about here. Round to his side, put 1, 2, let's see if we get the third one, and 3, finishes him off. Yeah. So, once again, this is a mediums tank player's tank. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. Good, snappy gun, nice accuracy, quick mobility, moves around the battlefield really well. Yeah, that kind of thing. So I will bring one more up for you guys to check out, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, back with the last replay in the P.44 Pantera. And you know what? When I do these replays, I usually, when I'm showing the game, I'm showing the game that I did my absolute best in it. Usually, what I'm trying to do with my replays is to show you what the strengths of the tanks and the weakness of the tanks. And then this replay is going to be more along the lines of, it's just to kind of showing you the mobility of the tank, the ability of that 3-round autoloader to put out some serious damage, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, this tank does have very good mobility. And you'll see here, this is steps, and this is typically, you know, the 9-0 push, trying to get in position as quick as possible, pushing up and all that kind of stuff here, and that's exactly what you're going to see me do here. I'm not going to waste any time. This is a speedy little tank. It gets from point A to point B relatively quickly here. Now, I have some people here coming along to help me. I hope. Cross my fingers, because I've fucking caught myself more than one time getting kind of let down here by tanks that should be moving up. I typically like to move up here as quick as possible for that very reason right there with the SU-100 M1 that gets into position relatively quick and can nail you as you come around that corner here. So now I have a T-150 with me, or T-34-85 here, and I'm just kind of playing this ridge a little bit. I've moved up quickly, and now I've gotten into position here on the Tiger 1. Put in 1 shell, 2 shell, and I really don't have anything contesting me here, so I'm going to put the 3rd shell into it. I got plenty of time to reload. 736 just for those 3 shells. Like I said, I'm showing you the highlights, or I shouldn't say the highlights, the strengths of this tank, as well as the weaknesses. And these 2 videos that I've did hopefully kind of give you an idea what I'm talking about here. So I back up here a little bit here. I'm trying to stay out of view range here while I wait for all my shells to load. Normally you don't want to dump all 3 shells, you just want to dump 2. However, I had the Tiger 1 in position and I had time to reload, so hence why you see me dump all 3 shells. Typically you only want to be doing 1. So now I got T-34-85, so a bunch of 6s with me here, and you know, being B and 8 here. Now I see the Scorpion G's on the other side, yeah, and I see the T-44 in the middle here, so I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive. And that's hard to do with this tank. You know, some of the problems I've said earlier in other videos, how I've had problems with this tank because I oftentimes play relatively aggressive here. Nice snappy little gun, boom, finishes him off, puts me up to 1,000 already off the bat, and I didn't, of course, fire that 3rd round, so my reload isn't quite as long. Love the gun on this tank, very nice gun. Penetration sucks a little bit, especially during some dealing with higher tier tanks. However, it is accurate, it is quick firing, and that, like I said, with that 3-round autoloader, does a pretty nice job. Now I've got the Cromwell, I've got some help here. We're going to push up in here and we're going to finish off this SU-100 M1 as quick as possible. Yeah, there we go. Put the 1st shell, ooh, bounce off his lower plate. See if we get the 2nd one, get him there, and the T-58 has nailed him, finished him off. And now we're going to try to get into some cover here. M44 is fucking fired at me. Type 58 fired at me. And the VK, for some reason, he's more interested in killing the T-34. However, get the 1st reload on it. I've used up all 3 shells here. Now I'm on the move once again to get my reload. yeah. So we're moved off. Waiting for my tank to reload here, waiting for the deal. And you're going to see, like I said, I always make sure I'm paying attention. If I can get away, I don't have a problem with spamming all 3 shells. Get out a lot of damage doing that. But however, it does put you in a position where, yeah, you got to wait that little bit longer for that reload. So by knocking that out, we've pushed up here. We're sitting at a 4 tank lead right now. We've already knocked out 1 tier 8 here. So now I'm moving up here. I usually do not go across here. These guys are going to, of course, do that as well, which isn't, in my opinion. You're going to see why here shortly. So, move on across here. Now, we've lost, yeah, we still have all of our 8s, so it's looking pretty good, or looking pretty decent right now here. See if I can get this Batchat 12T. I know there's an AMX 1357 sitting here in the middle, and they're kind of making a run here for the M44 and the Uds. Yeah, we're going to see if we can give them a little bit of help here. Don't see anything off to my left. So let's see if we can go to do a little bit of TD hunting. Like I said, the AMX 1357 was here, Scorpion G, and this is kind of the reason why you don't push too quickly into there. Like I said, there's a lot of TDs on the opposing team here. Alright, AMX 1357 pops up here. Let's see if I can get stopped. Oh, never mind, they got him. Don't get any spotting assistance out of that, so we've pretty much taken care of it. It's a 9-6 game right now. They have a Scorpion, a Jag Panther, and that Batchat 12T is still fucking running around back there, but fuck him, I'm not going to worry about it here. So, you're going to see me heading on over here. I'm going to try to see if I can deal with, I got an OI, 45 TP, the Jag Panther and the Scorpion G. Now, they've both moved up here. The M6 and the T150, of course, have kind of got themselves stuck here. So, pick up the M44, and we got the Jag Panther, and we got the Scorpion G here. Biggest threat here, in my opinion, of course, is the Scorpion G, so we're going to put 1 shell into him, and 2 shells into him. Don't quite get him. M44 is running here, so yeah, we're not going to dump that last shell because I don't really want to put myself out there. However, we do pick up the Batchat 12T coming across here, and ooh, cannot quite get it. Come on. Oh, I'm off a little bit. Sometimes I wonder about my server lag. So now I'm not in a position here. I'm going to try to make sure I get my reload in here before I start having to deal with this stuff. Scorpion G has moved back. The M44 has moved back. We still have the Jag Panther. The M6 is pushed into that shit. I'm not sure what's all up that vault there. So we pull back. We're going to knock out the M44. And now they've moved it back to 11-9 game here. However, there is 2. We have a Bulldog here yet with me. And he's headed for... Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Scorpion G takes a shell to the knee. And yeah, he's getting wrecked by that Bulldog. 45 TP finishes off the T29, and we're not looking so hot here. So let me see if I can get one more shot in on the Scorpion G. Can't. Oh, just not quite good enough to finish it off. So we got the 41 Bulldog here. Scorpion G is at 96 health, and of course we still have full health Jag Panther, the OI, and of course the 45 TP. However, I just bought the time. I know the Jag Panther comes around the corner and puts a shell into the Bulldog here. So I have a little bit of a chance here. Of course, fucking ammo rack, and we've talked about this in another video. This thing fucking loves ammo racks. So put 1, 2, see if we can get the 3rd one, finish the 3rd one off, and I'm going to get off the top of the hill. So at this time I was not thinking that, alright, so I could finish off the Jag Panther, but there's the OI. Fuck me. So now I'm out of here. Now I'm thinking, I was a little worried about the Scorpion G coming over to help the Jag Panther, and of course, about that time, of course, Scorpion G fucking nails me. So now I've got to wait for my reload. They've put it back to a 4-4 game, and yeah, it's one of those deals, right? So they're all on low health. Jag Panther's a 1-shot, Scorpion G's a 1-shot, the OI's got a little bit of health left, and the 45 TP's got a little bit of health left. We do have 2 TDs that are not looking too hot. OI finishes off the A43. And we have to deal with the 2 tank destroyers and now 2 heavy tanks. I got 384 hit points. Yeah. So, like I said, good maneuverability, good snappy little gun, and of course, pretty decent view range here. And I don't have a good crew in here. I usually don't try to do these reviews with a terribly good crew in it because it kind of skews what these tanks can do. This tank in particular, I think, is going to be a lot better if I do get a better crew into it. Yeah, and I might change up some equipment on this thing because I'm not always terribly happy being fucking ammo racked 90% of the time in this tank, because that's one big letdown of this tank is, of course, its ammo racks. which is constantly. So looking for the Scorpion G. Come on, I just barely see the top of him. They finish off the Scorpion G. Yeah, that's a little bit better here. So now I have the 45 TP and the OI to finish. Got my 3 rounds loaded here. I'm going to leave the Yag Panther. He's over here by himself. The 2 TDs are pushing in on these guys. So now it's time to get busy. We're going to push down in here and we're going to see if we can finish off both these heavies without the Yag Panther interfering. However, the OI might possibly kill me. ISU 122S says, no, fuck you, we're going to kill you. 45 TP is just hanging out over here. So we're going to roll over here. We're going to gun him down and finish him off here. So down we go, low. Come on, 45 TP, what are you doing? I was a little startled. Ah, there you are, buddy. He's just kind of hanging out outside, upside down. Finishes him off. And we're going to tuck back in here just to make sure I don't get sniped out by the Yag Panther. So it's a 3-1 right now. We have the SU-100, ISU-122S. And I'm going to wait for my shells to reload here before I start dealing with them. These guys are going to lead off, and we're going to have to see what we can do here. So, got the ISU-122S, and of course the fucking Yag Panther shoots me because, you know, why not? Leaves me on 79 health. I know where he's sitting. He's sitting in that bush right there. Surprising he didn't actually get lit over it. But hey, whatever. That's what binocs do for you, right? So, ISU-122, the SU-100, I don't think he realized where exactly that guy was sitting, which is alright, whatever. So, ISU-122S coming with me. Here's 2 versus 1. Yeah. We're going to see how this turns out here. So, the other guy in the Yag Panther played a hell of a game. He pretty much did not, and honestly, I think he's got a hell of a crew in this tank. He has a lot of games in it. So, we're going to have to see what we can do here. I'm a one-shot. He's a one-shot. Everybody's a one-shot right now, currently. So, he doesn't really have the speed, let alone to get away from me. So there we pick up the Yag Panther, and I'm like, yeah, right. So he's just sitting there. There we go. Got the ISU-122S coming. So I'm just going to keep his attention. The Yag Panther's like, yeah, what am I going to do here? Do I come around? And I'm just looking. I'm just waiting for him. I got 5 kills. Doesn't mean I really want him. I want to win the game. He fucking fires. Misses the Yag Panther. That leaves me with 1 shot. Oh, gets blocked. Pick up the second one. Finishes him off. Puts him about 34, 43, and 6 kills. So, like I said, kind of highlighting the tank, the strengths of the tank, which of course are mobility and that really nice gun on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been a while, so I go. And you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching.